Welcome back to this series about sleep and aging. If you're over 40 and sleep just doesn't feel refreshing anymore, you're in the right place. Let me ask you a simple question. Do you sleep 7, maybe 8 hours a night and still wake up feeling tired? Not exhausted, not sick, just not restored. If that sounds familiar, you are not alone. This is one of the most common frustrations people experience after 40, and it can be deeply confusing. Because everything looks right on the surface. You go to bed at a reasonable time, you wake up in the morning, you didn't stay up all night, you didn't skip sleep. Yet your body feels heavy, your mind feels slow, your energy doesn't come back the way it used to. Naturally, many people assume something must be wrong with their sleep. But here's the truth that often gets missed. After 40, fatigue is not always a sleep problem. It is often a recovery problem. Sleep duration and recovery used to move together. When you were younger, more sleep almost always meant more energy. But as the body ages, that relationship changes. You can sleep long enough and still not recover the same way. That doesn't mean your sleep is broken. It means your body's recovery systems are working differently. Unfortunately, many messages online make this worse. They tell you to sleep longer, optimize every habit, track every minute, fix your sleep score. This creates pressure, and pressure makes recovery harder. In this video, we're not going to chase more sleep. Instead, we're going to understand why sleep alone may no longer be enough, and what's actually happening inside your body after 40. Once you understand that, fatigue starts to make sense. And when fatigue makes sense, it becomes much less frightening. For most of our early lives, sleep and recovery feel inseparable. You sleep, you wake up, you feel better. But biologically, sleep and recovery are not the same thing. Sleep is a state, recovery is a process. Sleep creates the conditions for recovery, but recovery depends on many systems working together. After 40, these systems begin to change. Muscle repair slows slightly, hormonal signaling becomes less sharp, inflammation takes longer to settle. The nervous system stays more alert, so even if you sleep the same number of hours, the body may not complete the same amount of repair. This is why people often say, "I sleep enough, but I don't feel rested." Nothing is wrong with the sleep itself. What has changed is how much recovery fits into that sleep window. Another important shift happens in sleep architecture. Deep sleep becomes shorter with age. REM cycles may fragment. The brain prioritizes responsiveness over shutdown. This doesn't mean deep sleep disappears. It means it becomes more efficient, but also more limited. So the body has to distribute recovery differently. Think of it like this. When you were younger, recovery happened automatically during sleep. After 40, recovery becomes a 24-hour process. What happens during the day matters more. Stress load matters more. Inflammation management matters more. Sleep alone can no longer fix everything overnight. This is not a flaw. It's an adaptation. The mistake many people make is trying to solve a recovery problem by adding more sleep. But if recovery systems are overloaded, more time in bed doesn't always help. Sometimes it even makes people feel worse, heavier, groggier, stiffer. Understanding this shift is crucial because once you stop blaming sleep, you can stop fighting your body. And when you stop fighting, recovery becomes easier. One of the most overlooked reasons people feel tired after 40 even when they sleep enough, is something called low-grade inflammation. This is not the kind of inflammation you feel as pain or illness. It's subtle, quiet, persistent, and that's exactly why it's so draining. Low-grade inflammation acts like background noise inside the body. It doesn't shout, it hums. Your immune system stays slightly active all the time. When you are younger, the body turns inflammation on and off quickly. After injury, stress, or exertion, it rises and then it settles. After 40, this off switch becomes slower, so even when nothing dramatic is happening, the body is spending energy just maintaining balance. That energy has to come from somewhere, and very often it comes from how refreshed you feel. This is why fatigue after 40 feels different. It's not the sharp exhaustion of staying up all night. It's a dull heaviness, a sense that your battery never quite fills up. Sleep alone does not automatically shut down low-grade inflammation. Sleep helps, but it's not a reset button anymore. Stress plays a huge role here, not just big stress, but accumulated, unprocessed stress. Work pressure, responsibility, mental load, emotional vigilance. The nervous system remains slightly activated even during sleep. That activation keeps inflammatory signals elevated. So you wake up after a full night of sleep, but your body has been working the whole time. Another contributor is recovery capacity. Muscles, joints, and connective tissues take longer to calm down after daily use. Even normal activity can leave small recovery debts. If those debts stack up day after day, fatigue becomes chronic. This does not mean something is wrong with you. It means your body now needs more recovery spread across time, not just overnight. Trying to fix this by sleeping longer often doesn't work because the issue isn't duration, it's load. Reducing load, physical, emotional, cognitive, is often more effective than adding sleep. Once people understand this, something important happens. They stop blaming themselves for being tired, and that alone reduces inflammatory stress. Another reason people feel tired after sleeping enough is that energy production itself changes with age. This has nothing to do with laziness or motivation. It has to do with how the body creates and distributes energy. Inside every cell are structures responsible for producing usable energy. When we are younger, these systems are fast, flexible, and responsive. After 40, they don't stop working, they just become more conservative. Energy production becomes more selective. The body prioritizes survival, stability, and essential functions. What gets reduced is excess. This is why energy after 40 feels different. It's not explosive, it's steadier but lower. Sleep restores the system, but not to youthful peaks. That's normal. Hormonal signaling also becomes less dramatic. Instead of strong daily peaks and valleys, the body moves toward flatter curves. This makes energy feel more even, but also less sharp. You may notice fewer high-energy mornings. That doesn't mean poor sleep. It means the body is regulating energy differently. Mental energy is affected too. The brain uses a large amount of the body's energy. After 40, the brain becomes more efficient, but also more cautious. It allocates energy toward focus and safety rather than speed. So you may feel mentally tired faster, even when sleep duration is good. Again, this is not failure, it's prioritization. Trying to push through this with stimulation often backfires. Caffeine late in the day, constant mental input, and multitasking raise energy temporarily but deepen fatigue later. The body responds best to rhythm, not force. Consistent days, predictable evenings, gentle transitions. When energy systems feel safe, they work better. Sleep supports this, but it cannot override how the system is being used during the day. Understanding this removes frustration. You're not tired because you're doing something wrong. You're tired because your body is operating with a different energy strategy. And once you work with that strategy instead of against it, fatigue often softens. Another major reason you feel tired after sleeping enough is that your nervous system no longer fully powers down at night. When you were younger, sleep acts like a complete shutdown. The nervous system drops into deep rest. Alertness turns off. Recovery takes over. After 40, this shutdown becomes incomplete, not broken, just lighter. The brain stays slightly alert even during sleep. This is not insomnia, it's vigilance. Over time, life trains the nervous system to stay watchful. Responsibilities increase. Consequences matter more. Your brain learns that being available is important, so even at night, part of the system stays online. This means your sleep may look normal on paper, but the depth of rest is reduced. You move through sleep stages more frequently. You wake briefly without remembering. Your body doesn't panic, but it doesn't fully surrender either. The result? You wake up without feeling restored. This is especially common in people who are mentally engaged during the day. Problem solvers, caregivers, decision makers. Their nervous systems are trained for readiness. Sleep becomes lighter not because of stress alone, but because alertness has become the default mode. Another factor is sensory sensitivity. After 40, the brain becomes more responsive to subtle signals, noise, temperature changes, light shifts. Even small disturbances can prevent deep rest. Again, this doesn't mean sleep is bad. It means the system is prioritizing awareness. Trying to force deeper sleep often makes things worse. Tracking sleep obsessively, worrying about sleep quality, chasing perfect routines, these behaviors keep the nervous system activated. The nervous system doesn't respond to pressure, it responds to safety. Calm evenings matter more than strict sleep rules. Lowering stimulation gradually, reducing decision-making late at night. Letting the brain feel that nothing urgent is required. When safety increases, depth follows. Sleep after 40 becomes less about knocking out and more about allowing the system to stand down. And that takes patience, not control. Many people sleep enough hours but arrive at bedtime already exhausted. Not physically, neurologically. Modern evenings are incredibly demanding on the brain. Screens, information, decisions, stimulation, even passive consumption requires processing. After 40, the brain's ability to filter input becomes less tolerant. It doesn't mean weaker, it means more selective. So what once felt relaxing now becomes draining. Scrolling, watching intense shows, late conversations, multitasking. All of these extend cognitive load into the night. The body may be lying down, but the nervous system is still working. This creates a mismatch. You go to bed tired but not rested. Sleep then becomes recovery for depletion, not restoration for growth. This is a subtle but important difference. Another issue is timing. After 40, the window for winding down becomes narrower. The brain needs more lead time to disengage. When stimulation continues, late sleep absorbs the cost. You sleep, but the system never fully resets. This is why evenings matter more than mornings. Now, fixing fatigue starts earlier than most people think. Not at bedtime, but 2 to 3 hours before. This doesn't require extreme routines. It requires subtraction, less input, less intensity, less urgency. The brain doesn't need entertainment. It needs permission to slow. When evenings become simpler, sleep becomes more effective, not longer, deeper, and fatigue gradually eases, not because you slept more, but because your nervous system finally rested. At this point, it's important to understand something clearly. After 40, feeling better in the morning is no longer about sleeping longer. It's about helping your body transition out of sleep more smoothly. When we're younger, the body switches states easily, sleep to wake, rest to action. But with age, transitions become slower, not broken, just more gradual. Many people wake up tired not because sleep failed, but because the wake-up process is rushed. Alarms, bright lights, immediate thinking, immediate responsibilities. The nervous system doesn't have time to adjust, so you wake up feeling heavy, foggy, and unready. One of the biggest changes after 40 is that your brain needs gentler mornings. Not passive mornings, gentler transitions. Light exposure matters. Not sudden light, but gradual brightness. Movement matters. Not intense exercise, but gentle activation. Breathing matters. Not control, but rhythm. When these elements are present, the body completes the recovery cycle. Sleep ends properly. Energy returns more naturally. Another important factor is expectation. If you wake up expecting fatigue, the nervous system stays guarded. If you allow space for gradual alertness, energy follows. Morning routines don't need to be perfect. They need to be predictable. The body feels safe with rhythm. The more predictable your mornings become, the less resistance you feel waking up. This is why many people report feeling better on vacation, even with less sleep. The mornings are slower, the pressure is lower, the nervous system isn't rushed. You can recreate this effect at home, not by changing everything, but by removing urgency from the first 30 minutes of the day. When mornings improve, fatigue decreases, even if total sleep time stays the same. This is the hidden key most people miss. If you take one thing away from this video, let it be this. Feeling tired after 40 does not mean something is wrong with you. It means your body is asking for a different kind of care. You don't need to sleep more. You don't need extreme routines. You don't need to fix yourself. You need to work with how your system has evolved. Sleep changes with age because life changes. Responsibility, awareness, experience, your body adapts. Fatigue is not failure, it's feedback. When you respond with patience instead of pressure, things begin to shift. Better sleep comes from calmer evenings. Better mornings come from gentler transitions. Energy returns when safety replaces urgency. Nothing about this process is dramatic, but it is powerful, and most importantly, it is normal. If this video resonated with you, you're not alone. This channel explores how sleep and aging change and how to work with those changes, not fight them. You can find more videos in this playlist. Thank you for spending this time with me.